his class, 1981, had a lot of nice athletes in it. I believe Eric's probably the best all around. I mean, some of the teammates I had, Kenny Carrabba, Mike Trevisano, but Eric might be the best of all of them. Just a natural athlete in everything. Baseball, probably the most destructive hitter, from my opinion, in a period of the 1970s, well into the 80s, the most destructive hitter that this baseball program had during that era. When he hit a ball, it just sounded and looked different. And he was a great first baseman. I played with him on the JVs and then ultimately on the varsity. And have a lot of memories from him there, and then also in varsity football as well.
He was arguably one of the better pure left-handed power hitter that's come through Ignatius. He hit a lot of long balls. Real good teammate, quiet, didn't like the spotlight. Whatever he did, good, bad, or indifferent, come back, sit down the bench, real good competitor, fierce competitor, but you would not know that looking at his demeanor.
As a baseball player, he's always been a very solid hitter. He has had the propensity to hit some prolific home runs. Wasn't always, but when he got his bat extended, his hips turned, the sound that it made coming off the bat was completely, you knew immediately that it was out and out in a hurry. And he did that throughout his whole life.
And then in football, I can remember he just made play after play. Solid tackler, could cover tight ends, cover slot receivers, backs, and I just remember big plays he had against Holy Name, a couple interceptions. Against St. Ed's, he stopped a 2-point conversion with an interception. And it was interesting because he had just walked onto the team as a junior, and that's a separate story in itself.
When I talk about a person that's very humble, it's Eric. He's a great family man, for sure. He's got 3 great sons and a wonderful wife. And, he's very supportive. He's supportive of his friends. But in terms of him being modest, I think it all goes back to the days he played baseball at Ohio State. People didn't realize what a great baseball player he was. He was the team captain of Ohio State in 1985. And, he's in the record books, at Ohio State. He said, he had more home runs and RBIs than Nick Swisher did, and people would never know that. Thing with Eric at Ohio State, where I think he went there more as a walk-on, and he started from his freshman year on. And he's probably one of the few kids from Ignatius to ever have the opportunity to go play in the Cape Cod League too, which I think that's a huge honor. Back in, being a freshman going up to Cape Cod to play baseballs, that's pretty exciting.
When you're talking about Eric as an athlete, he left Ignatius and went to Ohio State. And when he went to Ohio State, a lot of people don't know this. They don't know what's the record books. When Eric got out of Ohio State, he was the all-time RBI leader in the history of the baseball program. So what he was doing here, he continued on at Ohio State as well. His talents on the field are very, very well documented, and he's very deserving of this honor in the Ignatius Hall of Fame. A multi-sport guy, he was All-Ohio in football and baseball as a senior. That doesn't happen a lot around here. And he continued on when he was playing baseball at Ohio State.
And as far as character, as far as his makeup, as far as, what kind of guy he is, is he representative of a man for others? Is he a good example, as far as representing Saint Ignatius High School? Yeah, he's, in my mind, he's the prototype, if you will, for what we all know as the Saint Ignatius man for others.
It's funny, Eric and I coached baseball here at Ignatius in the late 90s. And Eric, one thing about, Eric and Ignatius is he always gave back. We coached for about 3 years under Dr. Steve Cook, and Eric was the hitting instructor, and I was an assistant coach also with him. And one thing about Eric is he was really good about helping the kids get to that next step. He had a lot of contacts through playing college baseball that he utilized to help some of our guys on the team get scholarships. And so I thought that was really important about what Eric did, not only as a coach, but as a person, in terms of helping these other kids out in order to get them to college.
The most predominant thing for him is just his commitment, his dedication. He's just such a great person that that kind of just emanated to the kids. He was our hitting instructor and was a very successful one. Himself, he was very successful as a player, and the kind of philosophies that he had to teach kids and they could feel his caring attitude, I think, more than anything.
It means the most. First thing, just the award itself, it's kind of, as you get older, and I'm getting there, you know, it's that last link to kind of that childhood of those great times that you had. Along the way, you just meet all these other people that are just great guys. And from the baseball standpoint, you know, again, guys like Brian Hoffert and Fred DeSanto, John Frank, Ken Caraba, Jeffrey Roma, they were just super baseball players that were able to have fun and have a good team. And then you had a side of football where when I was a junior, there were some really good senior football players. And those guys really taught me a lot how to play football. You know, the Timmy Ryan and the Fred DeSanto and the Joe Boehm and the Joe Morgan on defense. There were some guys who really, you know, taught me how to be a better football player, and I was able to then take that into my senior year and use it. I'm honored just because when you look around the people who have received awards, they're not only great athletes, but they're great people. And so it's a big honor for me to be able to be part of this, just because you can see all the other guys around that have received before me.